She was alone. The land was dying. Her heart, already buried with her husband under the old cottonwood tree, barely beat anymore. Then came a knock, and behind a dusty cowboy stood a little girl with eyes full of stories and silence. He said, "I was told you need a rancher." She had no idea that single sentence was about to change everything. Maggie didn't get visitors. Not out here. Not since her husband passed 3 springs ago. The ranch had been in his family for generations, and after the accident that took him during a cattle run, the place fell quiet. The roof leaked, the barn sagged, and the land grew stubborn with weeds and regret. She tried her best, running the place, raising her son, tending to the livestock. But when the drought came and her son left for work in the city, all that remained was dust, broken fences, and a woman too tired to fight anymore. So when the knock echoed across her front porch that evening, she opened the door slowly, expecting a neighbor or maybe the mailman with another overdue bill. What she found was a tall, sun-worn man in a wide-brimmed hat, boots thick with road dirt, and beside him, a girl, maybe 10, quiet with wind-tangled hair, clutching a small duffel bag. "I was told you need a rancher," he repeated, voice calm like a man used to being ignored by the world. Maggie blinked. "And you just showed up?" He nodded. "Name's Caleb. Been drifting. I fix fences, break horses, tend to land. Someone told me you were holding this place together by threads." She glanced at the girl. "And her?" "My daughter, Grace. Her mama passed last year. We've been trying to find somewhere to put our boots for more than a night." It would have been easy to say no, to close the door. But something in the way Grace didn't look up, didn't speak, just stood there holding all her hurt in her arms, made Maggie step aside. "Barn's dry," she said, "but it ain't much." "We're not looking for much," Caleb said, tipping his hat. "Just a place that doesn't spit us out." Days became weeks, and weeks blurred into a rhythm the ranch hadn't known in years. Caleb didn't talk much, but his hands spoke in hammer swings and saddle repairs. Fences got mended, the cattle regained weight, and the soil started to give again. Maggie noticed the birds return, too, as if the land itself was exhaling. Grace was quiet as the wind threw wheat. She followed Maggie everywhere, not asking, just observing. She helped feed the chickens, started learning the names of the horses, and left little painted rocks on the porch like gifts. One evening, a storm rolled in. Maggie found herself on the porch, staring at the clouds. Caleb stepped beside her, silent. "You fix land," she said, her voice soft. "But do you fix people too?" He shook his head. "No, ma'am. But I don't leave them behind either." That night, Maggie watched Grace sleep by the fireplace. She looked smaller than 10, a child trying to survive in a world that kept taking, just like Maggie had once been. Spring came again. This time the flowers bloomed without needing permission. Maggie found herself smiling more, cooking more, even laughing. She caught Caleb watching her once, and instead of looking away, he smiled. Then came a letter. From her son. He was coming back, bringing his fiancée, wanting to help run the place. Maggie sat on the porch holding the letter, unsure what to feel. Caleb came up beside her. "You want us to move on?" he asked gently. She looked at him. Really looked. The man who mended her fences. The girl who mended her heart. "No," she said. "This isn't just my place anymore." Later that week, Maggie took Grace's hand and led her to the cottonwood tree. She knelt beside the grave. "This was my husband," she said softly. "This land was his dream. But maybe now it can be ours." Love doesn't always show up wearing flowers or speaking poetry. Sometimes it wears worn-out boots, carries a broken past, and knocks on your door without warning. Sometimes it comes not to rescue you, but to rebuild what you thought was beyond repair. The ranch didn't just get a rancher. It got a family, and so did she. If this story touched your heart, hit that subscribe button. We've got more just like it, real, raw, and unforgettable. Thanks for riding with us.